I am Saint Michael Archangel. To the people of the United States of America. Your forefathers created one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. These were men of high ideals, spiritually guided and inspired to create a nation and a civilization to be admired and respected, to set an example for the rest of the world. In exercising their free will under God's guidance and direction, they created a constitution and a Bill of Rights for every man, woman, and child to live in freedom in the pursuit of happiness. Yet, these high-minded and spiritual men were soon replaced by others who, in the exercise of their free will, chose to put their egos before God and to joust with God's plan. You became a nation of spoilers, man against man, brother against brother, government against citizens, and the chosen nation became a warrior with and against other nations. You have become a nation of criminals and murderers. You murder in wars. You murder the innocent. You murder your children. Your leaders create laws to justify the murders, to attempt to make wrongs right, to rewrite morals and ethics to support your own earthbound greeds and desires. You have become a nation further and further from the Spirit and the influence of God. You have created sciences and philosophies to support activities that only recognize earthbound realities, that not only refuse to recognize the spiritual nature of man himself, but refuse to recognize even the existence of God. You have taken God and His works of prayer and meditation out of your government, out of your institutions, out of your schools. You have done everything you can to deny His existence. And you find yourself in a world filled with wars, hatred, starvation, and death, and you do not understand why the rest of the world does not follow your shining example. You are a nation at war with itself, filled with hatred, prejudice, crime, drugs, and murder. Yet, when the few of you who do look to God asking Him why all these things are allowed to happen, you do not hear His answer. You are members of the human race, universally created by God and given individually a free will by divine right, and you would not wish to have it any other way. Yet every little act of free will that man has exercised from the beginning of time, that was not in accordance with God's plan, multiplied in its impact and its negativity on the future of man. Every simple act of aggression multiplied into acts of world war. Every simple act of greed multiplied into worldwide human suffering and starvation. Every act of destruction of God's environment on earth multiplied into destructive forces of nature, earthquakes, floods, pestilence, nuclear destruction and nuclear waste. Every act of violence escalated into acts of murder and the extermination of ethnic people for their appearance or beliefs. Yet, God created a nation of high ideals for you to survive other empires and civilizations that crumbled into oblivion, for their leaders placed themselves as men above God. And now those empires and civilizations are but piles of dust or buried under the waters. You sit on the edge of the new millennium, poised for the future of mankind, and you are headed, as all great civilizations of the past, to be reduced to piles of dust, to be covered over by the waters. Yet, God comes to you again, to appeal to you as a people, to appeal to you as a nation, to appeal to your leaders. His army of angels is visiting upon you with a life force of energy, a spiritual energy radiated by the Creator to all mankind. Many of you feel the vibrancy of His energy and His divine presence. He is communicating with you spiritually to raise yourself to a level of spiritual transformation that is necessary for those of you who hear Him to spread His message and His energy. To recognize that He is coming. Guided by prayer and meditation, all men, women, and children may answer His call, but it must be soon. Time is running out. The angels are coming. Do you hear them? Are you listening? Are you listening?